How's it going, YouTubers? I just wanted to make a short video to show y'all a pretty good way to dress up a plain Jane ordinary 1911. This one is a ATM 1911. And you can see what I did already, and these are just the factory parts. And you pop all these out, sand them down, knock all that old finish off of them, hit them with about a 1200 grit sandpaper, and then go back over them and polish them. And there's one thing that I love using polishing gun parts is Mother's mag polish for chrome and aluminum rims. It works great. But this is a quick way you can dress up just a plain ordinary 1911. Now the only reason why I didn't do the beaver tail is I've got one ordered. I got an extended beaver tail. I despise this one. I can't stand it. I got big hands, so when I grab it, it cuts into my hand. So I got me a nice stainless Wilson's Combat beaver tail on the way. But like I said, this is factory hammer. All these are factory parts. Just completely disassemble it, sand them all down, polish them up, and you'll get a nice pretty chrome looking finish. Now the only things when you do this, and like I said, I done all the buttons, everything, all the pins, and the pins, all these parts, you don't have to polish the whole entire thing. Just do what's going to be showing. See, like my mag release and all these pins, I only done the tips of them. That way I didn't spend so much time sanding and polishing. And all my safety levers, my slide lock, the only thing that's polished is the outside and the face of it. Now on all these, I left all the black inside all the grooves. That way it made it stand out. So you didn't just have just a plain, there you go. It's focused in good. You can see that now. That way it won't all shiny. It gives it some definition. And that's a factory trigger. All I done was just took it out there to my drill press, popped a few holes in it, recessed them to make it look like a skeleton trigger, which I've got a Wilson's Combat adjustable trigger on the way too. So, but this is just something you can do without having to spend any money other than buying a little bit of sandpaper. And most people already have, you know, some sort of polishing compound for your rims. Just use what you got. Alright, and I'm going to pause the video and show you what else I've done. Alright, well, as you can see, so I told you, so you don't have to spend so much time. Just sand down and polish up what's going to be showing. That way you don't have so much exposed metal, because this is all steel carbon. I mean it's all carbon steel. So it will rust if you don't keep it oiled up. But most people don't leave their guns laying around and all out in the weather. So and this barrel was already done like this from the factory. It's kind of what gave me the idea of polishing everything else up, because I like the way this barrel looked under that black, you know, the black and chrome look. Alright, now let me get to a few more things I've done. Alright, now I took this frame to the machine shop And when I first got it, this thing was so tight, it was unreal. I mean, it didn't hardly want to slide back and forth. So I took 100 thousandths off of the rail, and I split the difference between the rail on the frame and the rail inside the slide. So together it makes 100 thousandths. And then after I done that, I just took and sanded all that finish off and polished everything down. That way make it slide nice and smooth. Next, I'm going to build another jig to redo this feed ramp. I got a jig for a Smith & Wesson that works. I built one for a SD40, but it works for MMPs and the SDs, and it works for a couple Glocks too. So I just got to build another jig for 1911. And something else I done that some of you may know about, may have thought about it. Alright. There we go. Alright, of course I sanded that down, polished it up a little bit. It's just a little dirty from gun oil. But if you'll look right here in the front, I recessed this and sloped it. And the reason for that is your disconnect. So when that slide racks back and forth, it has a lot less friction and a lot less back drag when that slide goes forward. I know a lot of the 1911s I've messed with, you can pull the slide back and it'll almost stop, before it loads the round. It hangs up on that disconnect. So that right there is a easy way to solve that problem and make for a lot smoother slide action and help feed better. Alright, now there's one major problem I had when I first got this gun was it had, and of course it comes with 8-round mag, but it would never load that 8-round in by itself. I'd always have to help it. And I'm not sure who makes this mag. Well, I mean, it's ATC mag, but I don't know if the company itself made it, or either maybe they had another company make them for them. But I have a problem with the mag spreading, so I'm probably going to order some nice stainless tactical mags or something. But the reason why it was spreading is because the spring tension is so tight on this. So I ended up having to remove a couple leaves out of the spring. Now I feed with no problem. And I'm going to show you a good way to check with a 1911 mag, or pretty much any mag that the base comes off the bottom, to check how it's going to feel and how it's going to feed before you cut it. Because if you cut it too short, you're in trouble on that last round. And if it's still too heavy, then you're going to have issues feeding that top round. Now, before I cut it, I could push down on this bullet and it would stay down. It wouldn't spring back up. And every time it tried to feed, it just slammed the nose right into the frame and would never go in. But I'm going to show you a quick way to help keep you from making a big mistake and cutting too much of that spring and ruining the mag. Alright. If you'll let your spring hang out the bottom a little bit and slide this piece back on like this right here, leaving some of the spring out, and you can do one leaf at a time, and then you can check your tension. See, that one right there is too loose, but I've already cut this spring. But you just keep working it back and forth until that first round is still good and tight. That way you can adjust it, you can check, and you can even snap this back in the gun and it'll lock in. I'm having to do all this one-handed here. So it'll lock in with that spring hanging out the bottom, and you can put your slide and everything back on and rack it and check and see if that number 8 round, you can load it back up, see if that first round will still feed, to get how much of the spring you actually have to cut away. Then once you do, just snip it off, about like you see here, and then reassemble it. Alright, I got it back together and I threw it around in the top, and that's my first round, and you can still see there's still nice good spring tension. And I went out and tested it, and it loads just fine. Doesn't have any issues. Alright, and there's that number 8 round again. Springs back up good. Alright, well, I'm going to reassemble the gun. Show you how it feeds. Alright, well, I got it back together. I actually had to get somebody to give me a hand to hold the camera for me so I could show you. Alright, now I do not have any snap caps. I need to get some because I don't like doing this with live ammo. But there's nobody in the way of the muzzle. And we're definitely going to keep our fingers off the trigger. Alright. Mag's loaded all the way up to 8. Knife feeds with no issues. Alright, we're going to remove that round. Keeping our fingers off the triggers. Alright, see the gun's clear. Alright. And if you noticed, when I let go of that slide, here, I'll put that round back in, show you again. There's no drag. It doesn't hesitate. Doing this all backwards. There you go. So it doesn't have any restriction. Doesn't hesitate. It slides over that disconnector. Sorry, see, we got an empty chamber. I'm dropping the hammer. Well, that's pretty much what I did. Alright, I'm back. If you have any ideas of what I should do next, other than getting a different mag, I'm thinking about ordering a compensator to go on the end of it to replace the barrel bushing. I've seen a couple on eBay, and there's some that just extend right out of the barrel, and then there's the one that I'm looking at. Pretty much matches the contour of the frame of the gun, so it just extends on out another inch. I believe I've heard somebody call it the Punisher compensator. And I am ordering another set of grips. These are wood grips. It surprised me this gun come with actually actually having wood grips instead of plastic. Because just about everyone I see in the store, other than a Colt or Remington or a couple of other high-end brands, all have cheap plastic grips. But I've got a set of custom grips on the way. And there is one other issue I'm having when I shoot it. It's shooting really low. And this is the first time I've had that problem with a 1911. So it's a rather new problem to me. And I've looked online, and the only suggestions that I've found online so far is to file down the front sight. See, I can... Alright, see the mag's out. Gun's still clear. Now I can line that sight up like you normally would shooting. You know, level across the top. And I'm hitting way down. And it's shooting straight down. I'm not shooting to the left, so I'm not pulling the gun or dropping. But now I can drop my sight down and line it up about like that, level with the top of the slide. And I can hit the bullseye every time. And I drop it down and, like I said, just level with the top of the slide. Hit the bullseye every time. And I don't want to cut that front sight down that far. So the only other thing I've found is maybe ordering another rear sight. One adjustable where I can adjust the elevation and raise the rear sight taller. Which, I mean, this is already tall enough. I really don't want to go that high. But I might just put another rear sight on it, elevate the rear sight, and still take off a little on the front sight. And I'm debating on sanding that front sight down and polishing it up and giving it a like a polished chrome look finish instead of that black ugly front sight. Now I even thought about just cutting the sight slam off and cutting in a dovetail and just ordering a brand new set of sights, front and rear. Been looking at those Wilson's combat sights. Been liking them pretty good. Alright, well that's it for today. Y'all have any suggestions, anything else you think I should do to it, send me a message and let me know. If you like my videos, please subscribe. And always, y'all have a good day.